So everything that's going on right now is to build the individual pieces of the rig. So if we take a look over here, this just happens to be the dovetail for the alignment module for the pulsar. It's very identical to what's going to be the Neutron. The only difference is the dovetail's a little bit shorter. But if we take a look at some of the quantities that we have in here. When we're building the rigs, we don't build them one at a time. We build them roughly 100 to 200 at a time. So pulsar, neutron, and atom numbers, we're looking well into the several hundred. So somewhere around 400 and 500 rigs that are going to be produced. Once we have a design that's done, after months and months and months and months of just going nuts testing, we finally have a final design done. We'll just go ahead and break out just a whole bunch. Each one of these CNCs just has a different stage that gets done to it. We'll make everything. I mean, even just show you how nuts we are. The rosettes, even rosettes, we'll go ahead and make those up ourselves. We'll work in everything here. We work in Delrin, steel, aluminum, and also brass. Everything that's on the back side there now is all machining. So basically we have to make the jigs that gets used for this. We also have to make the tooling that basically holds the block of aluminum in place to get the certain cuts that they want. Because these are not 5-axis machines, we basically have to tool these different things to get the cuts we want. All of these happen to be 3-axis CNCs. We also have one CNC lathe, which is the big guy that's on the other side. This is another one of the CNC machines themselves. Here you can see where we're building up for Quasar. So for Quasar, we always have to make sure that we have a certain number of the rigs on the shelf ready to go. The reason for that is most cinematics, they'll use 1, maybe 2 rigs. Sometimes they use 3, sometimes they use 4. It just depends upon how big the budget is. But the real reason why we have to keep so many of these on hand is for broadcast. When you're going to shoot broadcasts, such as for the World Cup, we had 22 of these guys on the World Cup. Anytime there's a broadcast shoot, they're going to need anywhere between 6 and 12 rigs. And unlike cinema, where we'll know months ahead of time when something's going to happen, you can see down here, this happens to be the bottom dovetail for the pulsar, and actually also going to be for the atom. And each one of these things will cut out all the Delrin, will cut out the aluminum itself. Actually, these happen to be the Neutron cages, whereas if you take a look at this happens to be the pulsar cage. So slight difference, a little bit elevated height, a little bit of a wider of a cage itself. Here we happen to have 2 completed pulsars. Right now, both these pulsars happen to have the pre-production mirror box. The production mirror boxes aren't quite ready yet, but when we get to the building, you'll get to see what the production box actually will look like. The pulsar and the atom, they'll be identical boxes themselves. It's really the anodization process, assembly, and some of the machining on the atom that will make it specific. And then pretty much that's where the similarities are going to end for both the atom and the pulsar. And then we can get more into that once we get over there. All wiring, all cabling, all sub-assembly, all gets done over here as well. We don't even farm out that stuff. We want the absolute ultimate control of everything. All the cables that we use, whether it be for power cables, CAN communication, everything else, all that is also done right here. This is Aaron over here taking care of basically just doing last minute testing. So we know he's doing testing because he's using unanodized parts versus anodized. So this is all of the last minute stuff that's going into making the production neutrons that we see out right now. Over here, this is for all you out there in the world that wants to know how we make our famous breakout boxes for the Red One. Well, here you can see Martine making up each one of these things one by one. And all of this is, and you can see everything from the cable subassembly to the actual BNC connector itself. And then basically each one of these is going to be built into the actual breakout box. So even the breakout box all gets manufactured right here and assembled right here. So he does the, works in concert with Aaron to do subassemblies for development rigs, but he also does the assemblies for the actual production rigs. So this happens to be one of the pulsars that's being produced right now. And basically once he gets done here, it goes up on that shelf over there. And anything that goes up on that shelf means that's ready to be delivered. Generally speaking, they'll all get names that put onto them. It'll go across the street where it goes through QC. QC is me and Doug, and sometimes Michael if he's around. And from there, generally about 3 days to go through QC, to where our job is to break things. And
that's a wireless module right there too, right? The
yeah, this is actually, this can be wired or wireless. So wireless through the module here. It can also be wired through the 4-pin can. And we're also working on a new type of wireless, actually getting rid of Bluetooth. And but experimenting still happens. Now, for all those people who are still happy with their red ones and still use them, we still have this little section dedicated to the red one. So there's still stuff going out. There's still tons of stuff being produced.